All right, everyone. Here we go. If you haven't grabbed your paper already, please do that. In my normal fashion, I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate what we already have here. So I'm going to try to do this T, but I'm going to do it on a separate sheet of paper. So if you don't have the packet, I try to post these pages one at a time on the classroom stream. So you can go ahead and find this page that we're all looking at on that classroom stream. So check that out. If you have the packet, definitely use the packet. It's a little bit easier, right? You already have all the layout completely set up. And you don't have to draw anything. But for those of us at home that do not have the packet, I'm going to go ahead and set it up right now. So I'm going to start as usual, or at least as for the last few pages. We've started with a horizon line. So going right down the middle. Trying to get a line as straight as we can. Right. I have a little dip in my ruler, so I can't go straight across. But our horizon line is important because that's what separates our eye level, right? So this is kind of like the ground area, and this would be the sky if we were outside. But this represents our eye level right here. Second thing we need to do is not put one single vanishing point in the middle, but we're going to do two vanishing points on either end. We're going to put those way over here on the side. We know that vanishing points have to say they live on the horizon line. That's just how it works. That's the way it is. So we know that they go there, and that all those kind of elements are together. Next, the way that 2-point perspective works is we start with the edge that is closest to us. So when we worked on our boxes in perspective, right, we began with one edge or a series of edges, right? And then we kind of build the box from there. Letters in perspective is no different. We're going to start with the edge of the T that's closest to us. So maybe you can see it. It's a little bit darker than the rest of the edges of the T. And that's what we're going to start with, just one short little line. And if y'all have any questions, feel free to type them as I just stop me. I'll be happy to wait. So we're just going to start with one single line. It looks like on the packet, it's kind of in the upper right-hand edge. So we're going to start there. Maybe right here. So just one bold little line. And that's where we start. With our T. So first of all, you want to kind of figure out which direction your T is going to be going. Because our initial line is so far to the right, I think our T should be facing this way, kind of facing towards us. It could be facing this way. It could occupy the space between the front edge and this vanishing point. But instead, I think I'm going to have it going the other way. So we're going to start with this edge and just kind of think about how a T is created. And what I like to do is kind of draw a box to show me what's going on. So first step, we're going to build this top crossbar. Oops, here we go. Crossbar up here. That's what we're going to do first. And here's how it works. So we know that the only two types of lines we're going to have when we're drawing a 2-point perspective is vertical lines and orthogonal lines, so lines that are going back to the vanishing point. So we're going to make some orthogonal lines up here, try to build that crossbar. And we know that we're going to wind up erasing a lot of this. Not sure what that was. So I'm not going to draw all the way back, but I'm going to draw almost all the way back. So I'm going to do the top and bottom, so that first line back to the vanishing point. Right, and that's going to give us kind of that top section of the crossbar. And what we can do now is kind of end that shape. So the T is probably only going to go to about here. But again, we have a vertical line and two orthogonal lines. So now the only other type of line we're going to have is a vertical one. And you can do this in a lot of different ways, but this is just the way that we're going to try it right now. See how it goes. All right, vertical line, straight up and down, checking my ruler with the edge of the paper. Looks good. Right. There we go. We got that top part of our T is done. Looks good. Now I'm going to try to build that stem. This side that's coming down straight here. And you can do this a bunch of different ways, like I said, but we're going to try it with this one. So we know that our lines have to be vertical or orthogonal. So we're going to add some vertical lines in here to create that stem of the T. All right, got a couple of vertical lines there, starting to look kind of like a T. Very good. All right, now usually the bottom of the T would be like kind of a flat line, right? That's kind of how we do it. But we know that there's no horizontal lines, so I'm going to add the bottom of the T as an orthogonal line. So I'm going to line up my ruler with this vanishing point on the side. And make the bottom of the T. Now I know that I don't need this anymore, so I can go ahead and erase it. All right, we got a front side. It's a little lopsided, but it'll do. So we're looking good. We kind of have this front edge of the T. Now we have to work on the back edge of the T. So we've done pretty much this area, this front area. Now we got to work on kind of the sides and the back. I guess we can get rid of this as well. All right, now we're going to start connecting some edges to the other vanishing point. We're going the other way. So from the corner, orthogonal line. We got another corner. We got a whole series of corners, and we're going to do them all at once just to see how it goes. Again, you don't need to draw them all the way back because we know we're not going to use the entire thing. If you want to go all the way back to the vanishing point, you totally can. So again, just a series of lines like we've done in the past. Back to that vanishing point from the corners. All right, and it's starting to look legit, right? So yeah, we kind of have that bat signal scenario, kind of like we've seen in the past, right? It looks like it's kind of going all the way back into space. Now we need to just figure out how far back that edge is going to go. So we're going to line up a ruler with the edge of our T, that original line that we drew. And we're just going to slide it back and see how far back we want it to go. I'm going to stop there. Again, checking our ruler, making sure that it's vertical. I can see that my line's a little bit off over here. So I'm going to move my ruler so it's nice and vertical. I'm going to add in my vertical line. And now I know that the top of the T is kind of going back to this far vanishing point. So the line that I'm drawing next is going to have to be the same way. But we're still going through that intersection. So wherever that intersection meets, we're coming across. Right? And then again, we're doing parallel, well, sort of parallel lines on the vertical one. So this is vertical line. So we know that this next intersection is going to come straight down. There we go. Good. This line is orthogonal, so that means that bottom line is going to be orthogonal too. Again, kind of comparing the front and the back edges of the shape to get. And again, this one would continue all the way back, but we don't need it to. Yeah. Looking good. So that's mostly it, right? If we look at our T, it looks pretty good. The only area I'm kind of concerned about is over here. And here's one way to double check it. We know that this line kind of continues on its own. They're the same, so that we know that this line also continues the same way, but it looks like it's not necessary. So we're just going to connect this to here and call it a day. So all of our lines have been connected. All of our corners have been connected. It's kind of a series of things. But again, just want to reiterate that you kind of have to figure out whether or not your lines are going vertically, up and down, or orthogonally. And once you know that those are your only choices, it makes it a little bit easier to draw. Yeah. Now we're just going through and erasing. So any extra lines that you don't need, right? Starting at the vanishing point, erasing towards shape, stopping when you get there. Again, these are all lines we don't need. So what you're left with, that's a cat. So what you're left with is something that looks like this. Sorry. And we're done. So this is the T in perspective. That one's already been done for you, so hopefully you were just watching so you can see how that works. I will do another shape. As you continue to work on this sheet, I would say stay away from the S and the J. Leave those until the end. Start working on the H, the E, or the N. Those are the ones that are a little bit more straightforward. It's hard to draw curves in perspective. So yeah, we can leave that till the end. So start with the H, the E, or the N. I'll do one of those here in a second, but try it on your own. See if you can get going with this. Does anyone have any questions about letters in 2-point perspective?